So a little less than a couple years ago, we got an announcement that Scott Pilgrim would be re-releasing for the game's 10th anniversary as Scott Pilgrim Complete Edition across all modern platforms. It ended up releasing January of last year, and I've been having a fun time with it, as well as everybody else. If you've been following the channel for a while, you may have seen my video covering the game. With the announcement of the re-release came another announcement from a small company called Limited Run Games, who, the best way I can describe them is they make collector's editions of really, really cool games. More specifically, games that a lot of people don't talk about, to kind of preserve them in gaming history, kind of like what I do on this channel. So they made a collector's edition of the re-release that came with all this crazy stuff. It finally came in 2 years later, and I'd like to show it to all of you. So the first thing we're going to take a look at is the game itself. This is actually the reversible cover for it, but it still looks really cool. In fact, it looks cooler than the standard cover that it comes with. The only one thing I say that I personally dislike about the reversible cover is that it doesn't have the name of the box on the side, but it does have all of the evil X's as well as Scott on the spine, so that's pretty cool. So I guess the first thing we're going to take a look at is the original cover, which is really cool. It has Scott Pilgrim in Sonic's pose from Sonic Adventure, and then it has him doing the same pose on the back, along with Ramona doing the Shadow the Hedgehog pose from Sonic Adventure 2. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. There is so much more to dig through. Oof. Yeah, definitely going to skip that part. So the next thing we're going to take a look at is the game itself. And honestly, nothing too interesting to see there. It's just kind of a simple cover, but it's still really cool. I wish I had a better camera. This is kind of I'm using my face cam for when I do speed runs, and it's not really good for this kind of thing. Within the game case came this really cool bookmark. On one side you've got all of these cool stamps and graffiti from the game and the novels. And then on the other side, they actually printed out a ticket for the Clash at Demon Head concert, which is really, really cool. And of course, this is something that I really wish they would start putting back in physical releases of video games, but it came with an instruction manual with obviously the game's title screen on the front, and a picture of Nega Scott on the back. And I'm not going to flip through the entire book, but it's got your basic how to play information in it, your table of contents, and of course your characters page, which once again is just all sorts of cool. And this is just the the instruction manual. And well, in general, this is just the game case. There is a whole lot more to dig through. The next thing I'm going to show you are the collector's pins, which comes in this plastic case that is designed to look like Ramona's purse that she carries around with her, which is really cool in and of itself. At some point in time, I would love it if O'Malley made an actual replica purse for just for people to buy, because I'd get me one of those just for collector's sake. And I'm pretty sure a lot of even non-Scott Pilgrim fans would like it too. So These actually came bundled with another part of the collector's edition, but I put them in here for safekeeping. But you get these little collector cards, which the camera's not in focus, but you got one of Ramona and Scott kissing, and you got one of Ramona and Scott, or well, I guess just all the playable characters and all the evil X's and bosses and stuff, which is really, really cool. These have numbers on them, like this one is 215 and the other's 214, and I believe these are personal collectibles, personal collectible trading cards from limited run games, since it has their logo on it. So I'd assume, like, for instance, if they made they probably made some more cards with other numbers on them for some of the other collector's editions that they've done, and then you can switch, or you can trade and try to collect these cards from other people who have bought stuff from limited run. If that's the case, that's really cool. But yeah, these are the only two cards that come with the collector's edition, but they're still pretty cool. What's inside the box is this really cool pin set that comes with, once again, 8-bit sprites of the characters from the game, the playable characters, and of course the evil X's, as well as the other bosses as well. These are really cool. I wish I had a better camera to do this with, but I don't. I plan on investing in better equipment as soon as I can, but until my channel makes off until my channel takes off and I start actually gaining some compensation for this stuff, it's obviously budgeting is very important. Really, really cool. And before I forget, the Scott Pilgrim logo is on the back, and it's got the Universal Studios limited runs logo and Ubisoft's logo. So that's really cool. Okay, so the next thing we're going to take a look at is the album cover. So I haven't actually opened this up yet, and I guess since I'm doing an unboxing video, I might as well, just to see if there's anything else in here besides just the album. I guess before I do that, the front is really cool. It's kind of hard to see with my camera, but it's got a bunch of Scott Pilgrim characters all at like a Halloween party, which is really cool. You've got Ramona's fourth evil X dressed as Bowser. She's got the shell on. You've got Wallace dressed as Link for obvious reasons. You got this guy in the back dressed as, well, with a Kirby head. And, you know, a few others. I even like how there's the moon in the background that it's got the two holes in it that Todd punched in it for two different girls. And then you got the evil twins that she dated, dressed as Mario and Luigi. And then there are just a bunch of other different Easter eggs just hidden right inside the right on top of the album cover, including limited run guys, the guys responsible for making all of this stuff. Like there's one right there, I believe. That's another one, and the third guy's probably on here somewhere too. Never met the guys, don't know exactly what they look like. But yeah. And then you've got the back, which actually I think is a lot cooler. It's got all of the Scott Pilgrim characters and kind of it might be kind of hard to see, but it's an 8-bit pixelated style. Them hanging out in the back of, where they fought Todd Ingram in the game and in the movie. And, they're back there eating pizza, having a good time, and also the limited run cast is also back there too, which once again is just really, really cool. So the band who was responsible for doing all of the music in the games were called Anamanaguchi, and their logo or their band name is right there, and it's all 8-bit because that's kind of what they do. Their entire sound, the music that they do is all chiptune, which sounds really, really cool. Okay, so... Okay, that's pretty cool. So for starters, the inside looks like this. It's the swing set where Scott and Ramona went on their first date, and it's also an area in the first level where the characters have to go. So looks like there are 2 vinyls in here. The first one, I guess I'm gonna assume they both have music from the game. This first one is really cool. It's got obviously side 1 and side 2 with all Anamanaguchi's music on it, and it's actually a red vinyl, a red translucent vinyl, which is really, really cool. I wish I had a record player so I could test this out, but I don't. And honestly, the kind of record player I want to get if I ever get one, I'm not too big a fan of collecting record albums because a decent record player is actually hard to find these days. But because, most of the record players nowadays, they use, I'm not very knowledgeable about it, but like the old ones use tubes to get the sound to, be robust. The newer ones kind of use Bluetooth, which is not as cool. So this one also has, it's a yellowish color, I guess to kind of fit the theme of the, like the background in the title screen of the game. So yeah, so it's just a combination of different soundtracks on 2 different vinyls, which in and of itself is really cool. The last thing we're going to be taking a look at is probably the biggest and coolest part of this entire collector's edition. So they give you this briefcase with this really cool Sex Bomb logo on it. But this is actually just a sleeve covering the actual case. But once again, the case has got the Sex Bomb logo on it. On the back, it's got the logos and all the copyright information. So the first thing that happens when you open this, just watch. That's really cool. You've got these paper cutouts of the characters in their 8-bit sprites, and every time you open this up, the music plays. So that's really cool. I don't think this particular music shows up in the game. I could be wrong, but it sounds like another track by Anamanaguchi, which in and of itself is really awesome. So if it does show up in the game, I'm not sure where. If it doesn't, it's a really cool little extra song that they added specifically for this collector's edition set. So it's got a couple magnets on here which it uses to attach to this metal plate right here. And after and then you can also open up the metal plate and keep the plastic safe, so you can look at all of the, or it keeps the plastic or the paper from being torn, and you can mess around with all the other goodies inside without having to worry about that from tearing. So I guess the first thing we're going to look at is we're going to start from top to bottom, but we're going to look at the drumsticks, the personalized drumsticks that are supposed to represent, Kim's drumsticks. But these are really cool. They're made of wood. They look like actual drumsticks, and you could probably use them as such. But on one, it's going to be kind of hard to show you guys this with my camera. But on one of them, it's got 8-bit Kim playing the drums, and on the other one, it's got 8-bit Scott playing the bass guitar, which is just really cool. So the next thing we're going to take a look at is the case that the game originally came in. Now, the fun fact about this particular case is that it is modeled after the Sega Genesis cases. It's a little bigger, so it's probably more closer to a cassette tape box, because some of them actually did come in hard cases instead of just sleeves. But still really cool. This is what the game came in, and I think one of the reasons why they made this was because you can get the collector's edition with PlayStation, if I'm not mistaken, Xbox as well, or Switch. So they made this case too big enough so that it could house either of the 3 games, which is really cool. So on the front, there's that kind of easier to see Ramona doing the Shadow the Hedgehog pose. I'm pretty sure that's Shadow the Hedgehog's pose. It might actually be Sonic's. I can't remember specifically. Once again, on the back, it's got Scott and Ramona both doing their iconic poses, as well as basically the same stuff you see on the back of the actual game case. So this in here also came with a bunch of goodies. You don't just get an album of the music, you also get a CD, which is really cool. So already we've got 2 different versions of the soundtrack. So that is really cool. You get a sticker set of the characters, as well as a bunch of the other sprites you see within the game. And lastly, you get a map of Toronto. The Toronto in the game, obviously, not the actual Toronto. Unless it does look like that. I don't know. I've never been. But once again, that is just all kinds of cool. The amount of effort, time, and detail they put into this collector's edition is undeniably amazing. And once again, this is just the case that housed the video game itself. There's still a lot more to go. So next we're going to be taking a look at some of the other goodies in here. These things, if I'm not mistaken, actually came outside of the box, but we'll take a look at them anyway. this kind of just explains how the music in the box is made, how every time you open it up it plays the music. And I also got this piece of paper with a code on it that allows me to get $5 off anything else I purchase from Limited Run Games, which is really cool. Which is, even though most of the stuff they make are pretty expensive. Like this whole box edition set didn't just cost, $20. It was obviously pretty pricey, but personally, I thought it was worth it, definitely. So another thing that this box collection comes with is this art book called Behind the Pixels. And before we dig into it, the front has, once again, the Sex Bomb logo, that S that everyone draws as a kid, with a bunch of other drawings. And if I'm not mistaken, these are concept arts for characters in the game. So inside the book, there is tons and tons of information on all of the pixel art that was created by Paul Robertson in the game, and as well as some little tidbits of information on, I guess, what he was thinking while creating the game. So, sorry, I'm a little sick. That's really, really cool. There's a whole bunch of information, as well as these neat little pixel animations that he used, or that show up within the game, as well as the art, the new art that they made specifically for the re-release and the collector's edition as well. So once again, that is just all kinds of cool. So another thing that came in the box was a little cardboard advertisement for a website that has the complete guide to the game on it, which obviously I don't need. I've covered all the ins and outs of that game. There might be some things I don't know about, but I think I'm pretty knowledgeable about the game in the sense that I don't need to go to that website, but it's still cool that it's here. I don't know why they separated these two things, but aside from a sticker collection of the playable characters, there is a sticker collection of some of the enemies as well as the evil X's. Once again, I don't know why they separated those. The ones of the characters were inside the game case, while the other ones were lying inside this other half of the box. The next thing we got, and I was actually surprised to see this, the Limited Run website did in fact tell you everything that this collector's edition was going to come with. However, I don't, like I said, I ordered this thing 2 years ago, so I forgot much of what came in it. So I was really surprised when I opened the box and I also saw this. This is a cassette tape of the music. So once again, incredible. We've got an album cover, a CD, and a cassette tape of all of the music throughout the game. That is insane. That is so cool. I mean, when's the last time you've seen a cassette tape, especially of modern day music? This is incredible, and this was one of my favorite things to find inside of this. Another thing we get is this really cool enamel pin of Scott Pilgrim's Overworld sprite, which is, once again, just really cool. A little something extra that was added to the game. And we also got these cool, once again, personalized collectible cards of the bosses from the series. One of the things I thought was really cool, and I noticed right away, is that all of the cards are actually stacked in order of the order of Evil X's. So Ramona's first Evil X, Matthew Patel, is on the bottom. Her second Evil X, Lucas, is next, all the way up to Gideon Graves. Now, one of the downsides and the design flaw of how all of this was put together is that the pin was actually sitting on top of these when I got them. So there's actually a small, you probably can't see it, but there is a small dent in the Gideon card from where the back of the pin has pushed down on top of the card. So a small design flaw there, or a small packaging flaw, I should say. But it is what it is. So these are all of the boss's title fight poses, I guess, for lack of a better word. And once again, or well, I guess Roxy comes before Todd. Or Todd comes before Roxy. I guess I put them back together in the wrong order. But still, once again, really cool. Okay, so the last thing that this, that the collector's edition came with were these, guitar picks with Sex Bob-omb's logo on them. And of course on the back there's the Scott Pilgrim Complete logo. But there are 3 of them, and I haven't opened them up, but I assume they all have the same thing on it because they, from what I can see, it looks like that is the case. It's been a while since I played guitar. Yeah, I used to play guitar. I actually taught myself how to play for a couple of years. Then I kind of got bored with it, so I stopped. So I don't actually know if these picks are the average size of actual guitar picks or if they're a little smaller. Honestly, I think they might be a little smaller, but they're still pretty cool, and I would assume that they work. But as a collector, I'm not gonna test that out. Still, really, really cool. So that was the entire collector's edition bundle. Well, everything I bought anyway. There were a couple of shirts and hoodies that I didn't buy. Alright, so that was the entirety of the limited run collector's bundle of Scott Pilgrim vs. the World Complete Edition merchandise. It took 2 years to get here, because it took 2 years to get everything made and shipped out, but I'm happy I bought this. This is really cool, and I'm glad Scott Pilgrim is finally getting the recognition it deserves for being not just a good game, but a good series in general. The movie was incredible. The novels, the graphic novels were incredible. And yeah, that's really all I have to say on it. They also, a while back, I saw advertising for Zombies Ate My Neighbors. They had a collector's edition for the Sega version and a collector's edition for the Nintendo version. And I also purchased one of each of those, but whether those get made or not really depends on, I think, how interested people are in the series. I don't know how many people actually ordered either of those, but they also haven't given me any updates on that, so I'm assuming that it may have been canceled, but if not, and they eventually come in, I will do an unboxing video of those as well. Yeah, so that's everything. Thank you all so much for watching, and keep on gaming.